Hey guys, this is the Apostate of Allah. I would like to start this video reading 2 Bible verses. Deuteronomy chapter 10, verse 17. For the Lord your God is God of gods and Lord of lords, the great, the mighty, and the awesome God, who is not partial and takes no bribe. Proverbs 17, verse 23. The wicked accepts a bribe in secret to pervert the ways of justice. Allah perverts the way of justice? Wait, what? Where did that come from? That was totally out of left field. What do you mean, Sarah? What? Oh, exactly what you heard. Allah perverts the way of justice because he takes bribes. What do you mean Allah takes bribes? Simple. In Islam, it's a very works-based religion. So with every good deed that a Muslim commits, it's actually a bribe to Allah. For him to overlook the bad deeds, because there's a system in Islam. You know, you have, when you die, there's going to be 2 piles. You know, you're going to have whatever over here is going to be al-hasanat, the good deeds, and then you have the sayyi'at, the bad deeds, and whichever has more, that's where you end up going after you die. So essentially, Allah, if you have more good deeds than bad deeds, Allah will overlook your crimes, sins, and say, you know what, you're good with going to Jannah. And, you know, if you're a dude, you get your little 72 virgins, you know. Islamic heaven is just a major, you know, orgy. That's neither here nor there. If a earthly judge did that, you would say this is unjust. So, example, here's a dude. He commits this terrible crime. He goes and he's like, listen, judge, all right, look at everything that I've done. I've helped old ladies cross streets. All right, I've mowed this old man's yard, and there's this woman, you know, she had cancer, her hair's falling out and everything. I gave her a good amount of money. She have a wig, whatever. Like, you could be very extreme. Like, did these things, people will be like, oh, wow, he's great, and he's done them. But he did a terrible crime. Let's just say a hit and run. Who knows? I'm just making up a scenario in my head. I'm never going to do that again. That was messed up. Please forgive me. Let me go. Judge is like, okay, you're good. I see all these things, you know, all these terrible, this terrible thing, you know, surely I could overlook it. He overlooks it. Now, tell me, would you respect that judge that totally was like, didn't bring justice down on the crime that he committed based on other good deeds that he's done? No. You would say that's unjust. But that's exactly what you believe about the Creator. You, with every prayer you pray, not even just every prayer, every rak'ah of a prayer, in a prayer that you pray, every day, second that you fast in Ramadan, every penny you give in zakat, is you saying Allah is an unjust God. Because you think you could bribe Allah, God, with your good deeds. You think with you going to Mecca and visiting the Kaaba and walking around it, who knows if you're going to get stampeded on or not? You know, it happens. Deaths, unfortunately, happen all the time there. Unfortunately. But, and with the dream, hoping you get to touch, and even not just touch, kiss that black stone, because it absorbs sins. And then that way, those sins are forgiven. How is that not bribing the creator of the universe? Tell me how that does not make the actual creator angry. Look at these creatures that I created, and they think that their good deeds will erase the fact that they blaspheme my son. You see, the penalty of sin is not try doing real hard in hopes that Allah will forget those bad sins and while doing good deeds. No, the penalty of sin is death. You and I, that's what we deserve. Yet Jesus came and took that penalty upon himself on the cross, so that all those who acknowledge that Jesus is Lord and is Savior will have their sins forgiven. He took that penalty. So now God can be called both the just and the justifier. So the penalty of sin is paid for through him. We can actually call God gracious. In Islam, you have, before you do anything, you say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Okay, in the name of Allah, the most gracious and the most merciful. What does that mean in Islam? Or is it just something you say? In Christianity, we can actually say that God is grace. God is actual graceful and merciful because of what was done through Jesus. We can say that. Muslims can't. We can say that and know what it actually means. Muslims can't say that. It's just words they're expected to say. Grace means unmerited favor. Grace is something that you receive when you don't deserve it. But in Islam, you have to keep working for things in order for you to deserve something. How is that grace? How is that grace? How is that merciful? How is it merciful for you to try to please your God and still have no idea where you're going to end up? How is that merciful? That's opposite of merciful. A good God will have you actually feel satisfaction in him. A good God will let you know that what you're doing is not in vain. Actually think of what I'm talking about. Stop bribing the creator of the universe, because that won't end well. That won't end well. Nothing you do, God actually needs. You think your God needs your prayers? God does not need your prayers. Prayers are for us so that we can have a relationship with God. But in Islam, there's no relationship with God. And in Islam, prayers are just verses and chapters of the Quran you memorize and you just parrot out. There's no actual relationship unless it's the slave-master relationship. And your master in Islam is a massive manipulator. He's asking you to call him the most gracious and the most merciful, and you don't even know what it means, and he's manipulating you into saying it. Turn to Jesus, the one that actually took the penalty of sin. The God who did not overlook it, but gave us something we do not deserve for his own glory. And turn away from this man-made ideology that will do nothing but tear you down. And come to Jesus. Peace and grace.